tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. Recently, I told our listeners of high school age, forget the prom. You're not going to the prom. Now, we talked about that. But there is a similar issue for adults that has nothing to do with proms, but it's the same concept. And I want to explain this to you now because it's the season for this kind of thing, and I want to make sure that my boys, these are my boys who've graduated high school already, don't get roped into a situation they don't want to be in. And some of them may be fooled by recent movies over the last 5 years or, you know, some of the things that people joke about into thinking this is a good idea, and it's really not. And we can talk about this. You know, ever since the movie Wedding Crashers, about 5 years ago, remember Wedding Crashers? Great movie. Great movie. Funny. Ever since that movie, I have talked to guys about going to weddings, something that I have no interest in doing. Now, most of the people in my family have already gotten married. Some of us more than once. So my family is not having weddings at this time, so there's no invitations coming from my family. All three of my siblings are married, and their children are too young to get married, so we're in that window where there's just none of that stuff going on in my family. But after Wedding Crashers, many guys talked about the opportunities that exist to pick up chicks at a wedding. And there were many guys who were very open to going to weddings after they saw Wedding Crashers. And I have tried to explain this time and time again. And I'm going to tell it to you now. I've never discussed this on the air, but I have discussed it with friends, longtime friends in some cases. You see, many times the invite we get to go to a wedding is from some chick that we are either, well, it starts with someone you're married to, but it continues with women you live with, women you've been dating for a period of time. Sometimes you meet a woman and you try to get her to go out on a date, and she says, well, actually, there's going to be this wedding next Saturday, and I can really use a date. And some of you morons actually say yes. Why are you doing that? The only way to score chicks at a wedding is to go to a wedding stag. You don't go to weddings of chicks you are dating. Because then you can't pick up the chicks at the wedding. You can't pick up the chicks at the reception because you've got a date. I'm amazed at the number of guys who saw Wedding Crashers 5 years ago and thought, this is a great idea. Go to weddings, pick up chicks, get laid, fantastic. And so what some chick will say, come with me to this wedding, and they go. Now, granted, you might go to a wedding with a chick who has no interest in you, and then it accomplishes the same goal, I guess. But just remember, there's many ways to pick up chicks. Going to a wedding has expenses. Getting dressed up is an expense, whether it be dry cleaning, renting an outfit, or purchasing it. Taking up your whole day. It pretty much takes up your whole weekend, really, in some cases, unless the wedding happens to be 4 blocks away. The time it takes going, the driving, the time you spend hanging out with all of these various people you don't know, the family you don't know, trying to blend in. I mean, there's other ways to get laid that require a lot less effort. I mean, for me, the way to get laid having something to do with a wedding, there's 2 ways. One is you go to a wedding on your own. No date, just you. Now, I'm an atheist, so in every case, I skip any religious ceremonies. I skip them. And then If going to the reception is not enough, then I have to skip the whole thing. But I will show up at the reception. And that's where you can score. That's the way to do it. But I always say no to chicks who want me to go to a wedding. By the way, I've had them ask me to go to a wedding. You wouldn't believe some of the invitations I've gotten. Chicks wanted me to go to other countries. You know, I've dated chicks from other countries. I had one chick once whose best friend in Colombia was getting married. She wanted me to go to Colombia to a wedding. Now, what that really meant was she wanted me to buy tickets to the wedding. She wanted me to buy plane tickets. She wanted me to not only buy my own ticket, she wanted me to buy her ticket, but at the very least, I would have to buy a plane ticket to fly to Bogota, Colombia, to go to a wedding of somebody I don't know, have never met, and the family who I don't know and I've never met, the friends who I don't know and I've never met. Let's add on top of that, not too many of these people spoke English. I said no to that one. Oh, she couldn't believe I would not fly to Colombia and go to a wedding. I've been to Colombia, plenty of hot chicks, and I liked it too. Most Americans would be caught dead in Colombia because all they've heard is that it's all about drug running and whatever. They're missing out. These are some of the hottest chicks on the planet. But the last thing you want to do is to go to a wedding with a chick. By the way, I saw pictures of this wedding later. You wouldn't believe how hot the chicks were. But I would have had to go with a chick. I couldn't pick up any of those chicks. Don't let women twist your arm and drag you to a wedding. How many of you are having a fight about this right now? Because a lot of people get married in the springtime, especially in June. Weddings are coming up. How many of you have had your arm twisted to go to a wedding? How many of you had a fight about this? How many women listening right now want a man to go? How many women have to have a date when they go to the wedding? They'll take a guy they're dating. They'll take a booty call. There was some movie. What was this movie I happened upon on cable, which I didn't stick with? It was a movie about a woman who is so desperate to get a date for a wedding that she hires an escort. And, of course, like every romantic comedy, it turns out she just starts falling in love with this guy who's a prostitute. And the guy is trying to fake his way through the wedding and explain that, they've been dating for a long time and it's a very serious relationship. When in reality, he's been paid $1,000 to go to a wedding, plus expenses. I'll bet that kind of thing happens. I wish I could remember the name of that movie, but, again, I didn't watch the whole movie. It was with that chick from Will and Grace. And, of course, anytime I see anything having to do with Will and Grace, my trigger finger gets itchy and I start turning the channel. But, yeah, that was the movie. It was about a woman who hired an escort to go to the wedding because she couldn't find a date because she didn't have a relationship. She was 35 or whatever and unmarried and didn't have anybody in her life. And she couldn't be seen at the wedding without having a serious relationship. So she rented some guy. How many of you have had this fight? How many of you have had this argument recently? Maybe you're going through it right now. How many of you are going, kicking and screaming, but you're going to a wedding you don't want to attend? How many of you have said no, not going? I'll bet this happens all the time. Every time I've been in a relationship, there's at least one woman who says, my friend from high school is getting married. Would you come with me to the... No, absolutely not. No, you go to the wedding. You go. And this is a big deal. Women get really upset about this. Have you had this experience?
Like it. 1-800-5800-TOM.
You have zero paternal instinct to spread your seed and procreate and be a dad.
Well, I like spreading my seed, mostly into the other end of a latex condom.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show. Here we are in wedding season. By the way, that movie, thank you, Gary, The Wedding Date. Don't bother going to see it. I'm just telling you that was the movie I was trying to think of. Where the woman hires an escort to be her date for a wedding because she couldn't bear to go there without a date, without a man in her life. Then, like every romantic comedy, she falls in love with him, of course, even though he's a prostitute. 1-800-5800-TOM. That is our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Amber on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
First time, long time. I love your show. I've been listening, actually, since I was 12 years old, and I've never called in, so I'm really honored to talk to you right now.
Thank you.
But I feel really bad when you brought this subject up because at the end of March, my sister's friend was having a wedding that I was invited to, and I got so mad because I didn't even want to go, but my sister's like, you have to go. So I told my boyfriend, well, if I have to go, you have to go. And we got in this big old fight, and at the last minute he said he'd go, and I felt so bad. And
yeah, why does he have to go? It's not even your sister. It's your sister's friend.
Yeah, I know. I ended up paying dearly for it. I had to have the Heimlich performed on me. I almost died at this wedding. So
Oh, boy.
I guess karma's you know what?
That's right. And so apparently were you.
Yeah. And I feel really bad now because I've been listening to your show for so long, and I should have known better than to do that to my boyfriend, but I did.
Uh-huh. Did you make it up to him?
Yes, I did.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't understand why women do this. I don't get it.
Trust me, I learned my lesson. I'll never do it again.
Oh, good.
So he'll never have to suffer through another wedding.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Amber. Thank you.
Can you blow me up, Tom?
Of course I can. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Joe on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Joe, I'm almost ashamed.
No. You're Joe.
I'm Joe. I said, hello, Tom. I said, I'm almost ashamed to admit what happened.
Okay.
I have a mistress, and her friend gets married. She makes me go, and then everybody there knows I'm married. I mean, you talk about the sanctity of marriage. And I'm in all their pictures, and I don't even see the girl anymore.
Wait, this girl is your mistress. You're married to somebody else, and of all things she wants you to go to, a wedding?
The sanctity of matrimony has never been so violated. And I'm at the big table, and everybody knows. And I go, you people are nuts. I mean, my morality, I'm a libertine, but these people, I mean, they had a full Catholic wedding, the whole 9 yards, and I'm sitting there in a tuxedo going, you people are nuts, and she paid for everything. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm there. I was embarrassed. I was like, oh. I mean, it was one of those times where I was like, okay, this crosses over even to an area that I don't want to go.
No. And by the way, when you get a mistress, you want to keep the socializing to a minimum.
You are correct, my friend. I don't want to know her friends. I don't want to know anybody. And she tried to get me to go to a Christmas event at her company. I go, oh no, we ain't doing that.
Oh my God!
Bad news, I know.
How did you explain to your wife that you were staying somewhere at a wedding?
It's a long story. I have a certain amount of freedom, and it was painful.
Clearance from the control tower?
And we keep operational security.
Oh, boy.
It's been a heck of a job. Stay away from the weddings. The most fattening dessert in the world.
Why, that's right. The most fattening dessert in the world, wedding cake.
Cheers, man. Peace.
Thank you for the call. 1-800-5800-TOM. That is our telephone number. It's wedding season. And there are women who are going to not just beg you to come to weddings with them, they're going to demand it. They're going to stamp their little feet. They're going to cry. They're going to manipulate. Have you been in this situation? Are you a woman who's been demanding that a man go to a wedding with you? Does anybody think this is a good idea to go with some chick to a wedding? Anybody. If you think it's a good idea, I'm not talking about your family. It's her friend, her friend's friend, her family. Do you think this is a good idea? What's in it for you, guys? Please tell me. 1-800-5800-866. Anna on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
So I recently got married a few months ago, and I was trying, all the groomsmen were kind of asking me, like, what was the situation with my friends, who was coming, who was I inviting, and I was giving them kind of a heads up on who could come and the possibilities of them, hooking up. I talked to my friends. I kind of always hinted that I wanted them to come solo because there were going to be guys there, and they even asked me questions. A lot of them ended up bringing girlfriends who ended up not really drinking, not really dancing, not really doing anything, and I ended up paying for the dinner of these people that I had no idea who they were. The groomsmen kind of looked at me like, oh, I thought you said she was coming alone, and it was kind of a dud. And one of them even wanted to bring her ex-boyfriend, and I was kind of
What would constitute a good wedding?
I think a good wedding is when everybody's dancing, having fun, meeting new people, talking, and the idea of bringing a...
First of all, white men, I can't speak for other races. White men don't dance, don't like dancing, don't want to dance. So if you've got white people at a wedding and there's a band, guys want no part of that.
They do if there's humping and grinding.
How much humping and grinding is going on at a wedding reception?
If it's an open bar, Tom, it happens.
But you know what? I got booze at home. How many of us are that much of a loser that we have to get dressed up in a suit and drive out to a country club or a ballroom somewhere to get a free drink?
I tell you, Tom, even some of the girls brought their safe guy friends. And that was kind of even worse because the groomsmen were like, she's dating that guy? Like, no, that's kind of the safe guy, the one you always talk about, you know, the friend. I never get past that point.
The friend who thinks he's going to get lucky and you never actually tell him the truth that he will never in a million years have sex with you. That guy?
That guy. There were a few of those, too, that I noticed.
Right. See, my goal is to never be anybody's safe guy. Ever.
Yeah.
If you have breasts and I'm talking to you, there's a reason. Because I plan to see those breasts in person. Up close and personal.
All right, can you blow me up African tribal style so I can sing along?
African tribal. Can you sing along with this?
I love that part.
I want to hear her sing along with this. Go ahead, Anna. Oh, my God. This show has gone to another level. It was at a pretty good level before. Now it's gone off the deep end. I'm not just talking about today's episode of the show. I'm talking about the show itself. It just went right over the edge. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Here's Mark on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, what's going on, Tom?
Not much, Mark.
All right, so like I was telling your boy, I've been to 2 weddings. I've been to my father's...
Oh, you told Dean about this?
Yeah.
Well, hang on a second. Let me get Dean in here. Dean, would you come in here a moment, please? Dean's coming. He already knows what's coming. He hung up. All right, Dean, what was Tony going to talk about here on the air?
Tony has been to 2 weddings. One was his father's, and the other one was somebody else. But his current girlfriend attempts to get him to attend several weddings so far in the relationship, and he's flat out refused. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's standing strong in the typical Leykis fashion, and he refuses to go with this girl.
Okay. So no need to talk to Tony then, because you just gave us the whole story.
Apparently not.
He knew what was coming. He hung up.
Yeah.
Like, well before you got in here, he was already gone.
I missed that part. I only know he just hung me out to dry.
Well, actually, I hung him out to dry. That's what I did.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. There's Dean. Again, little Radio 101. When you call a radio show, you do talk to the screener, but you don't want to get on the air and talk about your conversation with the screener. Because if you're going to tell me about your conversation with the screener, why do I need to talk to you? Just bring the screener right in. Works every time. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Luis on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, what up, Tom?
Not much, Luis.
Loving the show, you know?
Thank you.
But look at this. I had an ex-girlfriend about a year ago. She begged me, for a whole week. You know how girls are. Trying to get me to go to her cousin's wedding.
And finally, like after a week, I finally broke. I said, all right, you know, I was kicking, I was pissed off. And I get to the wedding, oh my God, I was so mad that I was with her. Because these girls over here, I mean 9s and 10s, just straight out bomb. And then later on, after that, she got me to go to a family party, a New Year's Eve party. And I can't believe I went to it because I'm right there, her parents just looking at me, I couldn't drink, it just sucked, Tom.
Unbelievable.
I mean, this girl would throw tantrums. She wouldn't understand why I wouldn't go to her family New Year's Eve party. Come on.
Who wants to be there?
What?
Hey, you go to her family. Hey, watch your mouth. We're on the air.
About that, Tom. No, not even like that. If they only knew my friends. But yeah, pretty much, Tom, I wish I was your listener way back.
I wish you were too.
Hey, can you take me out with a gunshot followed by Snoop Dogg, please?
I certainly can, Luis. Here you go. Yes. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello to Michael on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Doing okay.
I got the best comeback when a girl asks you to go to a friend's wedding. You look at her right in the eye, you say, honey, I'd love to, but that's the day I'm scheduled to remove my liver with a warm spoon while chewing on tinfoil. Otherwise, I'd love to be there. What you going to say then?
That's exactly right. I'll remember that.
All right.
If I'm ever in a relationship again. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Stephen on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hello, Father.
Hello, son.
You know what? My wife wants me to go to this wedding, correct?
Yeah.
You know, she forced me. You know, she's like, she got me, but I said, you know what? This is my plan. The minute the priest says, does anybody object, I'm going to stand up, I'm going to have the balls, and I'm going to stand up and say, I object to this wedding because he is ruining his life because of Tom Leykis said so. Do not get married to this bitch.
That's as good as any excuse I've heard.
Well, why not, man? She's forcing me to go, right? I said, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to just ruin that wedding, and I'm walking out of there. What do you think?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Why would anyone want a Tom Leykis fan to go to a wedding?
Well, you know what? I just want to do it just to ruin the wedding. You know what? She screwed up my day. I said, you know what? I'm going to ruin it for her. What do you think?
Are you going to object when they ask if anyone has an objection?
Yes, I'm going to be the first one to stand up and say, I object.
I'll endorse that. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Brandy on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm okay, Brandy.
You know, I just want to put out there first, I am married, have 2 kids myself, but for single guys that get asked to go to a wedding, hello, girls get so mushy and think they're going to end up with the guy that they're with. It's like a guarantee getting laid.
But the thing is, if you go with a chick, there's no guarantee there. I mean, you get laid without going to the wedding.
Yeah, I see your point. I totally get your point on that. But if you do end up with a girl at a wedding, chances, I'm a girl. I've been to a million weddings. I'm telling you, seriously, girls get mushy at weddings. Like, oh, look, that's what I want. Here, if I give you sex, maybe you're going to marry me. You know what I mean? Like, girls are stupid that way.
Yeah, well, but they think they're going to use sex to get us to marry them. That's what that's all about.
Well, that's absolutely right, but that's my point. Girls are stupid that way. They're going to take a guy to a wedding, and that's a perfect opportunity for your children or whatever you want to call it to say, hey, I'm going to take advantage of this situation. I mean,
I'm just telling you right now,
women ain't out of women.
there's other ways to get laid, and I think you really are running a risk, especially if that woman has your home number or your home address. You are running the risk that she's going to, like, be attached to you like human lint after a wedding.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. But if you're looking just to get laid, there you go.
All right. Well, Brandy, thank you for that.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
I just started listening to you yesterday, man.
What is the most important thing that you've learned here so far?
That I ain't got to take no girl out to dinner to get some.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
Oh, yeah, the Tom Leykis Show, 1-800-5800-TOM. That is our telephone number. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the program. I appreciate it. Okay. Here we are. Talking about the women who insist that we go to weddings with them. Why are you doing that? 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello to Mark on the Tom Leykis Show.
Yeah, I think you're a jackass because you seem to, have the answer for everything, but what you seem to be conveniently missing is by going to these wedding receptions, especially, somebody like you who likes these Hispanic chicks, these Latino weddings, the receptions are overfilling with tail. And even if you go with, your girlfriend or whatever, you get to know people, you stay in that community, you can make contacts with somebody else that you could be, banging somewhere down the line. Tom, you're a human being. You're not a god. You're.
Ah, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. So you see, you have an agenda that goes beyond this topic here. I see. You wanted to get through. We were talking to people who hated me, and now you're going to get the agenda out in the context of this topic. Is that right?
Listen, you're not a god.
Is that right?
To have human contact.
I didn't say to repeat everything you just said. I asked you a question, pal.
Okay, what was your question again? Sorry.
Thank you for calling. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Brady on the Tom Leykis Show.
Thank you, Tom. That guy was a moron. Sorry about that.
He was.
Hey, long-time listener, and Dad, thank you for everything, okay?
Sure.
Listen, you're totally right. And a quick little tale, I was getting some tail from a girl for about a week. And, I considered her fairly hot, and I was having a good time. And she asked me to go to a wedding with her, to a friend. And lo and behold, I didn't know that you should do research ahead of time because it was to a Chinese man and a girl that was white that was born-again Christian. So when we got to the wedding, it was kind of a strange wedding, and we got to the reception. There was no alcohol in the entire place, none. They had replaced the champagne that I was used to with sparkling apple cider. And sober as hell, I was miserable, so I told the girl I was with, I said, look, I'm going to go get some drinks. I got a bottle of Jack. I got her a bottle of tequila. We got really, really drunk, and I proceeded to throw up all over the dance floor. And I made it a lively place for myself.
I did go to a wedding one time, and I did not want to go, and there was no way out for whatever reason at the time, or I felt there was no way out, and I drank so heavily. Somewhere there is a wedding video, and I am on it. Bombed.
We threw up all over the place. I threw up all over the place, and I'll tell you what, I will now, at this point, if I do go to a wedding, it's going to be someone I know, and I have to know it's a party before I go. There's a chance to go, but I'm not going to go.
Well, I am absolutely opposed to going with chicks. I'm absolutely opposed. If a chick is asking you to go, you have to say no.
Okay, Dad, I will. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Brady. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Nate on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Dad, how you doing?
Doing okay, son.
Long time, buddy.
Yeah.
I think the guys should definitely go take every opportunity to go to a wedding because
even with a chick.
Even with a chick, brother. Because,
why?
Okay, I went to a wedding, single, met a chick, was with her for about 2 years. She is a paralegal turned Hooters girl here in Honolulu, and I was with her for about 2 years, and I've gone to like 3 weddings here in Hawaii with her, and the weddings in Hawaii are always full of tail, and you're putting your face out there for all the tail, and you're just showing all these girls you look good in a tuxedo, and you're into that kind of thing, and you're an outgoing kind of guy. And maybe you're even into marriage, but, what they don't know is you're Leykis 101. Anyway, I break up with this girl. Well, she breaks up with me because I'm dragging my feet on marriage, right? because I listen to Tom Like It. Now, so all these girls, you know, they're hitting up my MySpace, and they're like, "Oh, that bitch, you are so great. You're such a nice guy." And you know, Karen from the wedding, with the boob job, she's hitting on me. And her friend Brandy is calling me all the time, checking on me, asking, "Oh, you want me to hook you up with some new girls and everything?" And, you know, so it's been a great situation for me.
Well, I'm glad it's worked out for you. I for one, all I've ever found is that when I go with a chick, I'm being followed around constantly to make sure that I'm, I guess just to make sure I'm around. Of course, really what they're doing is checking up to see if I'm trying to hook up with any of the chicks at the wedding or the reception. And but I'm done with that. I'm done. So if I ever go to a wedding, it's going to be alone. I'm going to be that poor guy everyone's going to feel sorry for who has no date. Hee hee hee. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello here to James on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hello. How's it going, Dom?
Doing okay.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, I wanted to say take advantage of the situation to go to a wedding if you can, with a girl even, because here's the deal. You show up, you always say how much you should spend on a date, $40, right?
Right. No more than $40.
No more than $40. How often do you have to pay for anything at a wedding, Tom?
Yeah, but you're at a wedding. I mean, put it this way. The amount of time and expense there is in going to a wedding, those drinks aren't free. You've earned them.
The drinks aren't free at weddings? Oh, man. You spend a little bit of gas sometime.
First of all, most weddings serve lousy wine, lousy house booze, and because they're trying to serve more.
That's if you have lousy, cheap friends, you know. You have to have a full...
How many people are dating the people with baby bumps on E! Entertainment Television? Most people go to weddings of the average, everyday working people.
That's true, that's true. Here's another perk, though. If you show up, okay, worst-case scenario, you're not having fun with the girl, you can always take her back home, drop her off for some extremity reason, you know, and then go back to the wedding because you already showed up, you know, one time with her. Nobody's going to question you.
But why do you need to go with her in the first place?
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, because you were trying to hook up with the girl the first time.
No. You go by yourself. You go stag. You sit at a table and other people say, "Do you mind if I sit here?" You don't go with a chick.
Yeah, no benefit from you, huh?
No, there's no benefit to that.
All right, well, the next time a girl asks me to go to a wedding, you know what I'm going to tell her?
What?
I'm going to tell her no.
Tell her no. Good idea. Joey on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Yeah, but I think I just heard my advice right there, like just listening in right now, man, because I got a wedding to go to in about 2.5 weeks, and I'm going, you know, it's like me and my girlfriend, it's her sister-in-law, and we're going, and I don't know, man, I guess I heard my advice already.
Why did you agree to do that? Why did you agree to go?
Well, I didn't even agree. I know, like, I'm all messed up. I'm with this girl, and, like, I'm basically having to go. I have to go.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. She's on it. Like, she won't let me just bail out.
Well, then it's time to get another chick. What do you need a girlfriend for?
Do that.
What, you have no game?
I got mad game.
Then if you got mad game, there's more hot chicks where she came from.
There's plenty of hot chicks all over, but I'm just saying you got to have one where you can go home every night.
No, you don't.
No?
No. What, does she live with you?
Yeah, we live with each other.
Why'd you do that?
Oh, man, we've been living together for about 1.5 years.
Oh, you're killing me. You must be a new listener.
No, I'm actually, I've been listening for about 6 months now.
So what made you think this was a good idea to move in with her?
You know what? I wasn't listening to you at the time, you know, but, like, now I'm kind of thinking, like, man, I wish I never moved in because it's hard to even get out, you know?
Right. You are now a prisoner. You're a prisoner.
I feel like I'm already married, and I'm not even married.
I know.
Man, it's all screwed up. Yes, sir. So I think I just got to tell her no, that I'm not going, huh?
That's what I would do. You should have said no in the first place.
Man, I was just like,
I don't know how the hell I got involved, but my name just popped up that I was automatically going, and now my girl's assuming that I'm going. She's like, what are you wearing? I'm all, I don't even know. I didn't even know I was going.
Pussy?
I don't know.
No, stop being a pussy. Tell her no.
I know, I think I will. I'm about to pull up right now. I'm going to tell her right now, actually.
Tell her. Take the phone in with you. I want to hear this.
You want to hear?
Yeah, right now.
It's a little walk.
That's okay. I'll wait.
All right. Hold on.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Thanks for holding. We appreciate your time and patience. Please stay on the line.
Thank you for waiting. Your patience is appreciated. Please hold the line and we'll be right back with you.
Want this open?
Is he there? Joey, are you there? Joey?
Hello?
Did you get to where you're going?
Just about.
Okay. We're waiting for Joey to go in and tell his girl that he's not going to a wedding in 2 weeks. He's bringing the phone in right now. The tension is killing me. Almost there, Joey?
Hello?
Are you there?
Yep, I'm right here.
Did you arrive?
Yeah, here she is right here.
All right, tell her.
Tell her right now.
Tell her right now.
And I'm not going to the wedding. The wedding? Your sister's wedding.
I don't know.
She's like, what the hell is going on?
Tell her. Tell her you're on the Tom Leykis show and you're not going to the wedding. That's it.
I'm on the Tom Leykis show. No, don't turn on the radio. You can't turn it on. Right?
Right, because it starts repeating.
It'll start repeating, so yeah. Oh, yeah, I've heard that before, actually. So what do you have to say? So, I'm not going to go. Yeah, I am.
Sounds like she couldn't care less.
I'm going and I don't care less.
Are you going to the wedding or not? No?
Where I'm on the show. Listen, say hi, Tom.
Hi.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Jesus, why did he have to do that?
The Tom Leykis Show.